Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Gary Martin, and today we've got a video with Andrew, the mid to handicap golf. What's your handicap, Andrew?
18.8 world handicap at the moment.
18.8. Now you keep asking for handicappers on the channel. You've just been warming up, and we've been a bit worried because you're a bit inconsistent, aren't you?
That's the problem.
But that's what you get when you get mid to handicappers on the channel. So it's going to be quite a true test today. You know, you generally play with a slice.
Yeah, or power fade I prefer.
And how do you manage that on the course?
I start just aiming left and hope it does fade a bit and doesn't go too straight.
Yeah.
And, you know, 70% of the time it might be okay, but it's caused an issue. I'd love to hit it straight if I could.
So TAYLORMADE just brought a new driver out, the Stealth 2 HD. It's designed to be their most forgiving driver ever, but when they've got the draw bias on it, what they say, in most draw bias drivers, you sacrifice a little bit of forgiveness on off-centre strikes, where with this driver, they managed to get the same amount of draw bias without sacrificing forgiveness. Okay. So we're going to test that driver with Andrew today to see if it's better than the driver you're using, which you've already got set up for a draw, I see.
Yeah.
You've got the Epic Max. We'll put some close-ups of this one with a shiftable weight at the back, and he's got it set with a weight more towards the heel. What you got here as well on the settings, so it's standard 10.5. So what we'll do, to give a like-for-like comparison, we'll set the Stealth 2 HD up in 10.5. You've got a regular shaft in here, so we'll set it up in exactly the same spec. Okay. And we're just going to have a look at the results. We're going to see if the TAYLORMADE driver is forgiving as they say it is. So Andrew's going to hit 5 balls with his own driver, and then we're going to hit 5 balls with the Stealth 2 HD. Good strike. You can see that little bit of left to right movement there.
Yeah.
And at the time when you bought this driver, what sort of drivers were you looking at?
I wasn't really. I just went to the pro at the time and just tried a load without knowing what sort they were and how much they were. And just this was the one that was more forgiving and more consistent. So you didn't kind of pay too much attention to what they were, you just picked the one that had the best results. I think it ended up being the most expensive at the time.
Yeah. It's clear to see already, you can see this left to right shot now. I'm looking forward to seeing the results with TAYLORMADE Stealth HD to see if we can minimise that slice. Very consistent so far. More
Practice
consistent
helped.
than you're warming up.
I know. Perhaps I was better when I wasn't warmed up.
It probably just shows you though why a warm-up's important, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because at least they're all moving left to right at the minute, so you can play with that. Excellent. So we've got 5 shots on screen. That's going to give us some great data now. We're going to compare the Stealth 2 HD, then we're going to just have a look at the results. We're going to have a look at the grouping and the spin to see what the difference is. So just a couple of points to mention on this driver. It's available in 9, 10.5 and 12 in left and right-handed. Left-handers will be happy about that one because they don't always get the full selection of lofts. And it's quite interesting to see that they've included a 9 degree in the HD, which you'd assume is aimed more at a higher handicap golfer because it's so forgiving, which generally speaking, you know, they don't always include a 9. So that's nice to see. It gives you that option. Right, here we go.
Right. There you go.
I think what's important to say as well is when you're testing new drivers, you know, they're always going to feel a little bit different. You're not going to feel comfortable because it's completely new in your hands.
Yeah, I mean, it feels slightly heavier, but slightly more give in the shaft somehow.
Yeah.
I can slice anything.
Yeah, well, look, you know, we're not here to try and sell a TAYLORMADE driver, we're here just to show you the real results of a mid-to handicapper. And, you know, it might help you guys make a decision on whether you sort of upgrade your driver or whether you you know, stick with the one you've got. Is that 4 drives?
That's 4, I think.
Yeah, so one more.
Oh, bad hit.
We'll let you have another one. We'll delete that one because, you know, obviously that wasn't the driver's fault. We can all have a bad swing.
User error.
As you guys will know who's watching, user error. So we'll not let that swell the results. Better. To be fair, I think you've hit 10 good strikes out of 11 there.
Not bad, all with a slight fade by the look of it.
Guys, if you're enjoying this video, stop around because Andrew's brought his fairway wood as well. Is it a 5-wood or a 3-wood?
It is a 5.
Well, I've got the 5-wood HD as well. So we've got the HD 5-wood as well to test. Let's check these results out. So just to conclude on the testing of the TAYLORMADE Stealth 2 HD, you know, when we look at the results, there's not a great deal of difference, is there? We've disabled the anomaly shot, and actually across the board, everything's pretty similar.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I think the only thing we can take from the Stealth 2, I think it's getting its forgiveness from imparting more backspin on the ball, you know, which is going to help keep you straighter.
Right.
But in terms of sort of the shape of the shot and, you know, the distance and all that kind of stuff, you notice the carry was exactly the same, weren't
absolutely.
it? Carry was exactly the same. In fact, your Callaway driver actually a couple of yards longer, weren't it? So I think in your case, the Stealth 2 isn't really going to improve your driver, not without a fitting anyway. Right. You know, I think maybe if we to try and lower the spin on the ball, which may be something we could do with more of an upgrade shaft, but looking at your launch, we can't really knock that launch down anymore because he's launched it around about 10 degrees, which is on the low side. But you said on the course...
Yeah, well, it's inconsistent and sometimes it does go high, but that's probably my swing path.
So it already goes quite high on the course, and that's because of the amount of backspin you're imparting on the ball, but you need that to keep you straight. And that's where a lot of guys get confused. They think, well, I'll use a 9 degree, you know, I'll try and lower the spin, but you're not lowering the spin because the spin's coming from you coming out to in.
Right.
You know, it's coming from hitting down on the ball. And basically all you're going to do is lower the launch, but it's going to make more side spin on the ball. So we're in a bit of a catch-22 with you where we can't lower the loft.
Right.
The only thing we could start to do is try and look to put a little bit lower spinning shaft in there. But I think in terms of the head, it's probably the right head for you. Yeah. But it would take, you know, a good fitting to probably improve your driver just on a little bit. I don't think you're going to gain a great deal from this driver. Yeah. And you know, it's not always worth you changing driver year after year. I'm sure there's other areas in your bag where you could get a bit of improvement. Yeah. Now we are going to test your 5-wood because what 5-wood are you actually using?
It's a Titleist 5-wood.
And is it a draw 5-wood?
I don't know. So I think I assume again just a bit of a.
Let's have a look at what you're using because the HD 5-wood. This is something that really could improve Andrew's game.
Yeah, it is.
So you're using the TS2. And it's not a draw bias, it's just a standard 5-wood. So let's see if a drawback, could you fade this?
Yes.
Right, well we could be in for a good video here.
Right.
Guys, if you've enjoyed the first video with the driver, we're going to post the next one, aren't we, in a couple of days' time. Come and check that one out because I think if you're using a standard fairway wood and you slice the ball, this is where probably the Stealth HD is going to help you.
Right,
so we'll test that out. Thanks for coming on today.
That's right, no worries.
And I hope you've enjoyed that one, guys, and we'll see you in a few days' time. Bye.
Thank you, bye. So could just setting up my existing club slightly different improve?
Where is it? Let's have a look what you've got.
I'll put it there.
It's here, isn't it? So what's he put you in?
But to me, those were, I didn't look at more a sort of a fade than a real slice that's going.
You can make this a little bit more draw bias. I mean, you've not got that weight right there. That can be in draw. So do you want to just tweak it a bit?
I'm all for that. Because it's as it was set up the day I bought it.
Yeah. Guys, if you're still watching, we've basically just tweaked Andrew's current driver, his Callaway. I've put that weight a little bit more towards the heel. We've set it on a drawer on the adapter, because this was how you were fitted, weren't it? To see if that'll just, you know, help you improve the performance with the driver you've already got. And that's something you guys could maybe check, is that your drivers are set up, you know, as good as they can be for your game. Do you want to just hit a couple of balls? Let's see if that makes much difference. So we've moved the weight a bit more towards the heel and set the adapter on the drawer setting.
That's what sometimes happens.
It's comedy gold. I bet you wish you'd have stopped it where we did.
I think you've altered it incorrectly.
I've altered it incorrectly.
That's ridiculous.
Shall I put it back to its original settings?
And that's why I'm 18.8.
I'll not put this in the main part of it, I'll put it in the extras.
How can I do that 3 times in a trot?
That definitely can't be, unfortunately, from what I've changed.
I know.
Because you're just skying it.
Last one, I didn't.
Oh, I'll tell you what it could be. In your defence, I'll tell you what it could be. I think the TAYLORMADE driver is shorter, you know. So you've just gone from a shorter driver. It's half an inch shorter. So you might just have to stand a tad further away from that in your defence. I forgot to mention in the main part of the video, they've made the shaft a bit shorter to help you get a bit more control. It's averaged, well, that's longer than your average that you hit with this driver.
Yeah.
You were averaging about 177 with his, when it were in the old setting, and that one's just gone a little bit further. I think that's something you probably need to try on the course, but I think that'll help you. From what I've seen today, you know, look, it's gone over 180. It's 183, so it's above your averages. I think with a bit more practice, that setting will be better for you out on the course.
Okay, worth a go.
Right, guys, we're going to leave it there, and hopefully you'll join us in a few days' time to have a look at the fairway woods.